Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. Today I would like to read an email about a video game called Dead Space 2. This game has an article now on the Consumer Rights Wiki for anybody who wants to read and find all the citations for what we're talking about here. And if you want to make the article better because there's information that I've left out, please do so. You don't even have to log in to make it happen. So I'm going to read an email from a viewer and then we'll go over this from there. Hi, I've been a huge fan of the work you've been doing to protect consumers. I'm a continuous viewer from the beginning and live in Germany. I'm sorry in advance if any of the mistakes may sneak into my writing or it including imprecise phrasing. My reason for contact is a simple support request I've made to Electronic Arts to be able to play a game which I purchased legally from the official Steam store and which was stolen from me. It's still being sold and distributed actively, allowing other customers to potentially fall victim to this as well. I understand this is not something that you cover normally, but I hoped it may be something that could interest you. It actually is something that I cover quite normally, and that's what the Consumer Rights Wiki is for. The entire concept that a company can take away something from you after the sale is the core of what I cover, the core of what I go over regularly, and the core of what I fought back against on this channel for many years. Essentially, Dead Space 2, an offline single-player game, requires a product key on startup to work. This product key has an activation limit bound to your machine. A simple hardware change or TPM shenanigans can trigger a new activation, locking you out of the game. Support claims that all tools to reactivate it have been discontinued and that support ended on December 2023. Yet the game is still listed for €20 on Steam and actively distributed. Electronic Arts claims that it's not supported, and customers losing access to it can kick sand. I'm happy to provide proof and further explanation or screenshots if wanted. And one of the things that I find interesting is that they still have the game up for sale. Now, you'll hear many people that defend companies turning things off or turning off activation servers for software they're no longer selling by saying, what are you using that old version for anyway? They don't even sell it anymore. And this will happen with software like Reason, where they'll turn off the activation server for a lifetime license, and then you're no longer able to activate that thing if you install it on a different machine. And the defense that these Sims will make in this regard is that, look, they're not even making money off of it anymore. They don't sell it anymore, so how can you expect them to support it? But here, I looked this up, and it's not just still for sale in Germany. When I go to the Steam store here, this game shows up as available for $19.99. So you still have the ability to take my credit card information and take money for the game, but you don't have the ability to continue to support me being able to activate the game. Like, it's one or the other, man. You can't just pull this shit out of your ass and make up the rules as you go. This is one of the reasons that I think piracy is growing, and above all, it's returning as a moral and ethical way to get back access to what you bought and paid for. Because when you read the terms of service of this, while they're selling this fucking game for $20, they did not edit it to say that you can no longer activate or deactivate it. They actually still have the online disclaimer that they had when they were still supporting the game. Users can manage which computers are authorized or deauthorized to play game. Visit activate.ea.com/deauthorize for more information on deauthorization. That's the exact same message that said that you can activate or deactivate certain computers that was present when the game was supported. And now it's not supported. It doesn't say that it's no longer supported in this fucking game description. I wouldn't have a problem with this if they said, we're not making money off of this anymore, or almost nobody's buying this, or it's an old game. So because it's an old game and because we've chosen to get rid of the deactivation server, click this link to download a patch that will remove all DRM from the game. If they did that, we would have no problems. Because if you're going to make the argument that this is not something that they have the ability to make money off of anymore, then you could also make the argument that there's no reason to have restrictive DRM inside the game. They want to have their cake and eat it too. And this is why piracy is growing in popularity, because people are starting to realize that they actually do have to resort to the high seas to simply get back access to what they bought and paid for. Like, forget about end user license agreement, this, that, or the other. It says right over there in the description, here's how you authorize or deauthorize different computers. And then when you buy it, you realize that you're not actually able to do that anymore. And they never told you. They only tell you that if you contact them. That's bullshit. And that should not be legal. One of the things that we fight for at Fulu is the ability to break digital locks to get back access to what you bought and paid for. Section 12.1 of the DMCA says that it is a federal crime that is punishable by up to 3 to 5 years in federal prison if you break a digital lock in order to get back access to a protected work. And what they're talking about there is piracy. But what was not thought of when this law was released in 1997, 1998, is that in the year 2026, you would have to commit acts of piracy simply to be able to get back access to what you bought and paid for according to the terms that were set forth on the fucking description of the product that you were purchasing. I think something you're going to see are a lot of people that have these $100 or $200 a month plans from these AI companies decide to use them to break these digital locks and then share the solutions with all of you. And there's a lot of crap that I hate about modern AI and the modern AI bubble. But one of the things that I really like, there is a silver lining in this entire process, which is that somebody with a $100 a month plan can break all sorts of digital locks to give back millions of people access to what they bought and paid for. in a cool way. And I am hoping that as time goes on, as there are more of these instances logged, that we can demonstrate just how ridiculous it is that there are laws in the books that say breaking a digital lock to get back access to which you bought and paid for is illegal. I can't think of better examples than this. And I hope that all of you, when you find these, the one thing I want to correct this gentleman on is this is not something that I don't cover. We have an entire website dedicated to going over every single time a company does this. We want to log all of them, and we want the logging to be good. This could be made much better. We can have pictures of back and forth people have had with customer service and exactly what customer service said. I want to make this as good as possible so that when we are speaking to people in consumer protection or in government, and we're fighting with these lobbyists from the gaming industry or the movie and television industry or the software industry who are saying that we're just all pirates. No, that's bullshit. Here are 10,000 pages of cases where you have taken away people's access to what they bought and paid for, and they had to break the law to get it back. They shouldn't be breaking the law. Here's all the citations. I want to be able to place 10,000 pages on a senator's desk in response to something that the opposition lobbyist says. Here's why they're wrong. Clunk. Thank you for being a part of the community, and thank you for contributing to ConsumerRights.wiki. Please try to make this article as good as possible if you're tired of games like this being taken away from you. Make it easy to read. Put some pictures in there. Screenshots. Make it nicer. I'm one guy, but again, doing my best. I could use the help of all of you. Thank you very much. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.